Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Check. We got college football, Daisy Dukes, and even more Olympic racism. Stick around. This is your Sports Check. Oh look, he's moved again. You dang right. Now you might be wondering, Seth, why do you keep moving the show? You asked too many questions. But we liked the gym. No you didn't. But I did say I was going to answer some of y'all's questions, so I'll get right on that. But first, I gotta get some stuff off my chest. I don't know about you guys, but this has got to be the least suspenseful Olympics of all time. Friggin' internet. NBC has been struggling to keep viewers interested in primetime Olympic events in light of constant online updates and spoiler alerts from local news stations. NBC even sabotages themselves. Exhibit A.
Coming up, how good can Missy Franklin be tonight? Finals of the 100 back coming up.
When you're 17 years old and win your first gold medal, there's nobody you'd rather share it with.
Nice. I was on vacation with my family this week and I was getting final results 6 or 7 hours before events aired later that night. That went over well. Wow, did you guys hear about gymnastics? Oh wow, the basketball team. Michael Phelps finally won. But I wasn't the only one getting the raw end of the deal when it came to NBC's blunders. Enter Jacksonville sportscaster Dan Hagan, who after Bob Costa signed off well after midnight Eastern Time, was mildly upset.
The Olympics, Dan?
He did it to us again. He did it again. He does it every 4 years. Bob doesn't know that 12 o'clock means 12 o'clock. It doesn't mean 12:02. It doesn't mean 12:04. It certainly doesn't mean 12:07. Bob, when it's 12 o'clock, you say goodnight. Bob, we're here on the East Coast working hard for you. We're NBC family, Bob. I'm glad we had the little gymnast girls. I'm excited about it. I'm glad we got to interview Michael Phelps 6 times. But Bob, mark my words, Jacksonville, tomorrow it'll be 12:09, 12:10, 12:11. He starts to push it, that Bob does. I'm done. I love him, though. It's great. He's a great broadcaster.
That's the look of a man who realizes he's just been YouTubed. Now it's time for some questions. Sticking with the Olympics for a sec, Jonathan Painter sent me this story called Lithuania Warned Over Basketball Fans' Racism. Lithuania indeed, Mr. Painter. In a basketball game between Lithuania and Nigeria, fans got a little testy, especially on the Lithuanian side. Apparently, one of the Lithuania faithful broke out into Nazi salutes and monkey chants in an attempt to rattle the Nigerians. Wow! Lithuania did win the game, and while the antics may have worked temporarily, they certainly didn't work out for his wallet. Later that week, he pleaded guilty to racially aggravated behavior and had to fork over almost $4,000 to a London court. Memo to the US government. Start fining your citizens for random acts of racism and we'll have this national debt paid off in a jiff. Between last week's Twitter shenanigans and Monkey Boy over here, I think the Olympics closing ceremonies may have to end with a few thousand stanzas of Kumbaya. Someone's tweeting, Lord Kumbaya. Moving on to college football, Caleb asked, for the next show, talk about the 2012 NCAA football coaches poll. Specifically, why is Alabama, last year's NCAA football champion, number 2 behind LSU, a team Bama beat soundly 21-0 in the title game? Also, what do you think about USC being number 3? Will they be this year's Oklahoma? Yes, the start of football season is upon us. And if the beginning of training camp wasn't enough to remind you, USA Today released its coaches poll on Friday, mostly to remind us that nobody knows what they're talking about. Why would you make LSU number 1 after that memorable drubbing they suffered at the hands of the Sabanites? I'm guessing it's because Bama simply lost more to the draft and graduation than LSU. The Tide does return starting quarterback A.J. McCarron along with a top-notch offensive line, but a defense decimated by NFL rosters will make it very difficult to repeat. 2009, anybody? LSU also took their losses, but returned the bulk of their playmakers on both sides of the ball, aside from their quarterbacks. But maybe that's for the best. Now, USC is a completely different animal, much like Oklahoma, but for different reasons. Like the Sooners of last year, the Trojans can't afford to lose any of their top players to injury. But that's only because NCAA penalties have drastically reduced their depth. If Matt Barkley goes down, Southern Cal is toast. That said, Lane Kiffin was still able to recruit blue-chip talent during the last few years on probation, and besides a below-average defensive line, his team can play with anyone. Plus, with Stanford rebuilding, Oregon is the only thing standing between USC and a perfect season. Translation: the Pac-12's a joke. Oh, for those down south craving a rematch of the rematch of the rematch, you better hope these come back in style. More college football questions abound, this time from Chris, who asked me what I thought about Auburn's new practice shorts. Why, whatever do you mean, Chris? I'm blind! Okay, I've heard of spandex before, but they always wore them under the regular shorts. And they were longer. These look like they got switched out by the volleyball team. It's like, dude. Guess I finally know what the men who looked at Medusa felt like, but I'm not dead. Wish I was. Just kill me now. With a train, a sledgehammer, a flamethrower, with a... Really? Does that answer your question? Okay, a couple more. The New York Jets versus the Boston Celtics at Yankee Stadium. Are you going to cover that game, and how do you think it's going to turn out? Alright, no more questions. And that's the show. Make sure you subscribe here on YouTube, and leave me a comment below the video, and check out the page on Facebook, because it's awesome. But until next time, I'm Seth Hagan, and this has been your Sports Check. Later. Dude, I knew we should have watched more Sports Check.